Where's Dan at?
I had to get ready for this episode. Welcome to Everyday Whiskey, partner.
Welcome back to Everyday Whiskey, guys. This week we are doing Smoke Wagon, as you can tell by Dan's little get-up over here. We are kicking it out west, and we got some really good products to sample through tonight, and I think you guys will enjoy them, and hopefully you've heard of them.
I think this has become like one of your my's favorite. We can't say distillery. I guess you can say distillery.
Yes,
they make their own vodka, so they do distill.
Yeah,
but they do source from MGP, so it is primarily blending what they do. But slowly has become, not slowly, very very quickly in our at least in our hearts, become one of our favorite whiskeys to go with.
Oh,
as far as
it's
brands.
Delicious. I mean, everything. Most importantly, their packaging. Their packaging is like bar none. I mean, these bottles are phenomenal.
I didn't look up. Obviously,
they're embossed. I don't want to
Yeah.
say hand engraved because I
don't think it's hand blown.
They are really cool bottles, really detailed and intricate.
Yeah, but even like this is like, so the regular bourbon, this is their low end, like $30 a bottle. But even this is like really intricate with like some nice like ivory and scroll work on it. Like the packaging stands out, and the liquid in it, basically backs it up.
As I've explained many episodes ago, I am kind of a whore for packaging. If you have a good marketing gimmick, I will probably buy it. Not that that's a gimmick, but it just looks fantastic. That's what drew me in, and I'm sure that's what drew a lot of people in. It's a bottle like no other.
Yeah. Mike only buys books by the cover.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how I go, and then I find out I don't like it once I start reading. But that's
this
all right.
This was not one of those cases.
No, not at all. This was definitely an out of the park home run.
It was pretty funny though, because Mike and I, we're gonna get into tasting it real quick. Mike and I actually started with the Uncut and Filtered. That's the first thing we had. So we started off with it with like the big guy, which really kind of hooked us, and then we tried the low end, which was so good for $30. And I just got the small batch the other day, and I've been thrilled with all three. We'll go and do more of it once we start tasting, but let's start with the original. With the original.
So, and the reason we started the way we did is, believe it or not, in our market, it was actually easier to come by that at the time, because this, as soon as it landed, it sold out.
Because it's so cheap.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, is like, it's hard to get a bottle of bourbon for $30 or under that really, like, has complexity and has good flavor and has
this one,
has a little bit, yeah, there you go. It has like a little bit of tannin. Has something to kind of hold on to. Normally they're kind of watered down and wispy, and they really don't have much to talk about.
No, there's not much to offer when you're in that price range, because they got to keep it as plain Jane as you can, or else, the longer they age it, the more expensive it's going to be.
And this one smells like it's all right. So this one smells expensive. Like we've drank a lot of bourbon, a lot of whiskey, and this smells expensive, and it's not, which is like very cool.
Candy kind of on the nose.
Very candy,
Sweet.
But you get that maraschino cherry that that you get in all three, more or less.
So a little bit about this one. This is definitely. Well, obviously, it's their first one.
So
not definitely, it is. It was released in 2019, and they actually aged this at the very top 2 levels of the rickhouse, and that it's a hotter temperature up there, which allows for the expansion and the movement in the wood in the barrels, so the liquid has a little bit more life in it, and because of that, they don't rotate it at all. They kind of just leave it up there. It's kind of what makes this bourbon. It's really exclusive, and they do use a high rye mash bill, so you should theoretically get a little bit of spice on there.
There's a little bit. It's very vanilla and very creamy.
Blended
and cherry,
really well, though.
But it's blended very well, so like that rye doesn't really come into the end. But one little tidbit, obviously, this is Nevada Distilling Co. out of Las Vegas, Nevada, so the temperature there is very arid, very hot, very arid, not very humid.
No, not humid
so
at all.
So it's very dry.
It's a desert, so...
and they actually store all of their barrels in a 100-year-old brick warehouse. Unlike a lot of your old-school distilleries in Kentucky or wherever you want to say, that you prefer, they're wooden. And they have air passing through. This does not. This is basically baked.
Yeah.
Like kind of like what Indian whiskey does. They basically bake it to the point where like a 2-year bourbon drinks like a 6-year.
Bacon bourbon.
Bacon and bourbon.
You can get a lot of oak on the back end, which I really appreciate, because you don't typically get that out of a high rye mash bill.
I just like, because like all their whiskeys are very dramatic, and it's like kind of an adventure every time you drink it. And I do get something new every time. Like with this one, first time I had it, I thought it was very good. This is the first time I've like actually dived into it completely. And it is just so, like I said, it's so dramatic, it's so smooth, it's like velvety. You get a nice little maraschino cherry note on the nose, and then it's just very toffee and creamy on the texture. And, and at the end, you get a little kick in the ass from the rye spice, which is obviously the younger blends they're using.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know. These aren't rotated, so I don't know. These technically they're not single barrels, so I'm assuming they're blending different stuff in. But it's definitely very different from these two. Definitely different from this.
It is. It's a lot different. I haven't had the small batch yet, which is this guy right here. So I can't really accurately tell you the difference between these two yet. But this one and the uncut and unfiltered, there is a dramatic difference.
This will be Mike's blind tasting, actually, on the small batch. I've tried it. I gave him my opinion, but obviously I told him to form his own.
Yeah, there's a dramatic difference. In the uncut, it's a heavy hitter. So I'm not gonna lie, you gotta kind of be into a heavy bourbon for that one. But let's go to the small batch next. We're gonna go in order here.
All right, and we already showed you the bottles. The small batch. Oh, crap. The small batch essentially is the same exact bottle as the uncut and filtered, except it's a black band instead of a gold band. A little backstory here. So the master distiller / blender and co-owner of Smoke Wagon is Aaron Chepanik. I might be butchering that last name, but that's how it looks like it's spelled. Chepanik. Yep. And
that's what I get out of it.
He's a face of Smoke Wagon and Nevada Distilling Co. You've seen his Instagram videos. You've seen him with his beaker and stuff like that going on, smoking cigars. He's a good character. He seems like a nice guy. I never met him, but from his outside, seems like a nice guy. But where am I going with this? Sorry, it's been a long day. But basically, when he was originally choosing his MGP barrels, he was trying a lot of very young high rye blends.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you have a young high rye blend, the rye spice ages faster than corn.
Yep.
So basically when that happens is you're going to get a very flat, very light, and very hot whiskey. So what he figured out is I'm going to take my really old shit and my really young shit, and I'm going to put these guys together because I'm going to get a nice creamy toffee texture from my older MGP barrels, and I get a nice spicy rye from my younger.
Yep.
And that should offset and hopefully give me a nice 90 proof small batch bourbon, and that's what we have right here.
I'm excited to try it. I feel like high ryes are very common in the
West. This nose, though, is so different. Not sweet.
It is.
Not sweet at all. This is more rustic. This is more barnyard and hay is what I'm getting.
Yeah. And wood, just straight.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of wood.
It smells like if you were to walk in and just
which nobody else
a barn
ages barrels out in the Las Vegas desert. So
no.
This is obviously what happens. It has a crazy effect on the barrels because the contraction and expansion of the wood is more frequent.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more interaction with the wood and the liquid inside. So everything adheres better.
I like the nose already.
And it's that cherry note on that nose is in this palate. Which is what I'm saying. It's all dramatic. It's all very there. It's very easy, too.
I like that a lot.
I like it a lot. Because we'll get into this afterwards, but
it's kind of very dry.
It's dry. So
it's very dry. There's not a lot. It doesn't linger. It kind of just hits and ends real quick.
Yeah, but it's
good.
Yeah, it's good. And the one thing I wish that happened with this, I wish it had a longer lingering finish to it.
It doesn't. It kind of
just
goes
falls
right
off a
down.
cliff.
Yeah.
Which this was the
That's impressive.
And they're all very good, but this was the only one where I would have a negative feedback on it, where I wish that cherry note kind of came out and it became more chocolate, as opposed to just kind of falling off a cliff.
I don't know. I kind of like that though.
It's definitely more sessionable, and it's unique.
It does. That's why I think because it makes it more sessionable, which. That's better. You could sit there and kind of have a glass or two at night when you're unwinding, and especially if you have a cigar or whatnot. Actually, I don't know if it'd be that.
Cigar is a
cigar might overpower it.
Yes.
Because it does drop off so quick. A cigar will probably.
Both of these will become water with a cigar.
Yeah, but that's incredible how it just fades away. I shouldn't even say fade. It just goes away.
But and what we should have mentioned, this is very recent, and we just posted this on our Instagram story. Each one of these core products just won double gold at the San Francisco Spirits Competition, which is, and obviously this one won in 2017. This one just won for the first time.
Yep.
This one also won in 2017. So these have had pedigree, but this is the most recent accolade, and there's new batches of this every month of the Uncut and Filtered, but that's an awesome achievement.
Yeah.
From Aaron and his whole team there. So.
Yeah, they're definitely award-winning whiskeys.
This is the best stuff on.
They advertise that.
Yeah,
a lot. I think it's phenomenal. I like the spice that you get in this one.
Yeah,
you
like,
definitely get more of that high rye mash.
Yeah, you do
in this than you do the original.
Which it helps it too, because like I said, it's not. It kind of gives you something to really like grab onto as far as flavor, and like it keeps me coming back. And we've drank everything on the shelf.
Yep, a lot.
These are top 10 easily.
Oh, without a doubt. I'd say they're encroaching, if not in the top 5. They're phenomenal bourbons.
It shows you how far, and we did a whole MGP episode.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Garden State Distillery; they were the main feature on that episode.
Mm-hmm.
But MGP makes really, really, really good stuff, and if you knock them, it just means you're kind of uneducated.
Yeah.
On what they do, and
Definitely.
if you drink rye for a majority, you're drinking an MGP rye probably 70% of the time and not knowing it. So MGP rye has its own distinct taste, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But enough of that. Small batch, very good. I had one little negative tidbit, which I wouldn't even call it a negative.
No,
it's just an opinion on it, and everybody will have a different one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's negative either. It's just it's part of the bourbon. That's what it
yeah.
does. It just falls off. Like,
yeah, and some people like that, some people don't.
Way. Yeah.
You know, like I would have liked a longer finish, but there's some people who, like I'm sure that's their favorite whiskey in the world. But that's why this is great, and that's why we have 1 trillion different distilleries.
I love how the label's like recessed.
Yeah, well, I like how it's a wax
It's
label.
nice.
It's wax.
It is, yeah.
All right, so now here's time for the Big Daddy. Well, now I'm not going to say Big Daddy because like the Desert Jewel is the Big Daddy, but if you get your hands,
We're working on that
If you
one.
get your hands on Desert Jewel, give us a call
Yeah.
or shoot us a DM,
Send us some.
something, because I don't know where to get it, and I know enough people that drink a lot of this stuff, and they don't know where to get it.
And I'm in and out of all lots.
And Aaron said on one of his Instagram that he's not making it anymore.
Oh,
So that could be true or not true, but that sucks.
unless it'll be replaced with something.
All right, we got to cheers on this one because this was the first bottle you and me ever got from Smoke Wagon. This is the first bottle I ever bought. Thank you to my buddy Ralph who actually got me the bottle.
Cheers, Ralph.
Cheers, Ralph. If you watch this, I don't know if you didn't watch this.
I don't know who Ralph is.
8 people watched the last episode, so Ralph might have been one of them.
Oh.
I know you, me, and Tyler and
Watch the
Sam
last
and, and her mom was
That's
4 of
fine.
them. So that's 50%.
I'll put it on repeat.
And for 115, 116 proof, depending on the batch, this is so freaking smooth.
It's very smooth.
There's no wood though.
No.
It's weird how you get barrel note here, barrel note here. So this is barrel note on the actual palate, barrel note on the nose, nothing. And it's the highest proof one, and it's the one that spends the most time on wood.
I think I'd like to make it easier for you to understand at home if you haven't had any of these. I'd say if you're looking for oak and barrel, this guy. If you're looking for oak and barrel with some spice,
That guy.
definitely this one. I don't know what to
That's
say
your
about this
here,
one.
I actually have something to say.
It's
about
really good.
this one. I have something to say about this one.
We're not speechless for any negative reasons. It's just like,
Here.
oh boy.
No,
Big boy.
just nose it. All right, so this is Weller foolproof. Okay, we're done.
Yep.
I need a glass. I need something.
I
need something here.
Yeah, when we're saying we don't have a note on it's because it's not because it's bad. It's really, really good. There's just so much going on in it.
Here, smell these 2 noses. They're very similar. This is weeded though, so that's gonna be sweeter.
Oh yeah, you could tell right off the bat it's a sweeter nose.
But they both have that candied cherry note.
Actually, this is a
That's
good. This is a good representation of like. This is like a sweet wheat.
And that's a sweet
This
heat.
is almost
That's
sour
sweet heat.
though. If you
Yeah.
smell them back to back, one smells sour, one smells sweet.
So this is sour and
Yeah.
dry. So this is like dried fruit, and this is more of like your candied
Yeah,
candied
they're
cherries
very
type deal. But here, put this down here.
I don't know what the hell.
But
Flavor,
we're going with full proof, which this is it. Basically, this is it. Okay, so we're gonna do a little tidbit on this, give you some background information. Basically, this whiskey is the same as this whiskey, except they basically dilute this to make it 90 proof.
Yep.
And they let this guy come to full term,
Yeah.
essentially.
I get a little molasses on the back. Definitely molasses. This one is honestly
Sweeter as you go.
this is the sweeter out of all of them.
Yeah, but it has a little bit of tinge, like here at the end of some ethanol, but it's 116 proof, so it doesn't hurt.
So you know what? That's how we're gonna break it down. Barrel, spice, sweet.
Exactly. I think I like that. I like that the most because I think it's the best accurate.
It is. It's short.
But
simple.
once again, the nose here is very classic bourbon, with a little bit of
Well, I'm done. So
a little bit of cherry
Mine's
wood. It's a little bit of cherry wood, but that's about it. It's a very simple nose, but the palate is like chocolate and cherries and dried fruit, and it's just
like a dark chocolate.
Yeah,
a really dark chocolate. More of like a cocoa taste, not even chocolate.
You go cocoa? I don't go cocoa. I don't go that far.
And sweet. It's like
cacao.
It's unexpectedly sweet at the
end. Yeah, it's so drinkable for 115 proof. I'm sorry,
I'm butchering that. 15.
57.73. So yeah, you got it. Yeah, 115.4. Yeah, like, and basically there was nothing negative really in this review aside from one little tidbit.
These are phenomenal products.
And like one little last thing about this guy here is it's basically like I said, it's the same as the small batch. They basically let it come to term. Basically, when they say uncut and unfiltered, because obviously I think we should explain what that means.
Okay.
Uncut and unfiltered is when you get a barrel of whiskey, there is a head and there is a tail. And you cut the head, you cut the tail, you're left with a heart. That's what you put into bottle, is the heart. What these guys did instead is they basically took the entire barrel and dumped it in. No, but on a serious note, when you let a whiskey age, there's more evaporation. Angel share, whatever you want to say.
Angel share, devil's cut.
When you also get more evaporation, you get more fatty acids, which, when you get fatty acids in a whiskey, that is what creates this creamy, velvety texture, and that's what you want for a high-proof bourbon because that combats the heat.
Yep.
And Aaron did such a good job. I won't say Aaron alone, but Aaron and his team did such a good job at playing a balancing act, a tightrope act of the juxtapose of like sweet and spicy with it. It's crazy.
So if you were to walk into a store right now and you saw all three of these, definitely pick the one based off your taste. Do you like oak? Do you like spice? Do you like sweet?
I think we should say what we would pick though.
We will.
Yeah.
If you walk into a store and they only have one of these or two of these, I still think you should get it no matter what because I don't think you'll be disappointed. We both have our preferences.
You literally can't lose.
Yeah, this is one of those brands where it's just a win-win-win all across the board. But if you are posed with a choice, just go with your instinct. Do you like oak? Like, I like oak, so I might be more inclined to this. However, I'm not because I really like this one. If you like spice...
You like all of them, so this is difficult.
It is really difficult. I need to buy one of these because I need to spend more time with it.
Here's the price points on it, it's fun.
Yeah.
So ready? 30, 50,
okay,
70.
Yep. That's about it.
And it's such a good pricing platform, and they're so accurately priced. It's perfect. It really is.
So, which one are you picking? You walk into a store, you got three of them, you can only pick one. Which one are you picking?
All day? If I'm going to have one every day, the low end.
You're going to go with this
Yeah,
one?
that's my favorite. Personally, that's my favorite just because if I'm going to come home from a hard day at work or whatever the hell I was doing yard work, I'm going to open that because that I don't have to think about. That is always good. That is always consistent.
It is.
This changes all the time. There's different batches.
It does. You're right.
But for the price point, that is such a solid whiskey. It's crazy.
Obviously, I would go with this guy.
Not to knock the small batch.
No, I'm not knocking any of them or the small, but I've explained it. I like a strong bourbon. I'm really not that turned off by the ethanol. I like it to pack a little bit of a punch. I like some complexity. So this one appeals to me. I also like that it's going to change a little bit with every bottle. So you know what? There might be one time where I get this and it might be better or it might be worse than the last one.
They're all going to be good.
I'm willing to take that gamble because, like you just said,
46 now or whatever.
Yeah, they're all going to be good. So I'm willing to take the gamble.
Yeah.
But I just like something a little more hearty.
Something bigger, something bolder.
Yeah, that's
and I like that too. I love barrel strength, full-proof, overproof, whatever term you want to use for it. And like I said, that's where I like Mike and I are good here because we differ as far as like what we look for after work or after whatever event you've come to, what our go-tos are. And like I said, the small batch is not falling under the rug here.
No.
It is a solid bottle of whiskey. It just, if you're going to put these two against it, it's hard just pricing-wise, honestly.
It is. And I think it's good that we have different. I mean, look at Scotch, for example. Like, I like something smoking oak. That's what I'm known for.
And I like
love
something
a big,
sweeter,
peaty, just oak bomb, smoke bomb. I mean, the more of a campfire tastes like, the more I like it. It's just who I am. It's what I like.
And I'm definitely more of a bourbon guy, so I'm definitely gonna like a little sweeter note, a little more oak on, a little more wood. I can't talk today, man. a little more wood influence on my whiskeys. I also appreciate like sherried scotches, so I like the dark fruit. I like the sweetness. I like the complex flavors. So, and it's crazy, but you get all of that in this brand. You really do. It's a roller coaster of flavors, but
there's something for everyone.
If you can find it in a neighborhood near you,
which I hope you can.
Yeah, soon enough you will. Yeah. It's pretty hard to get here in New Jersey, but we're working at it.
Yeah, I can't believe that was still the more available than this one at one point.
Yeah, no, it's weird. But
it's awkward.
Enough of the chicaneries here. So, dude, I keep forgetting to say in the beginning of the episode to say this.
Please like, comment, and subscribe on our channel. Every little bit helps. Again, we're going to reiterate this every time, but we're especially going to reiterate the commenting. We want feedback. We need, not that we're running out of ideas, but
feedback helps.
Yes, and we've been given some good ideas for episodes.
And thank God these guys just won double gold in the San Francisco Spirits competition, like I said before, or else we probably wouldn't be doing this episode.
But yeah, the more you interact with us, the better the content we can produce, because now we start to get a feel of what people want to see. So it helps us. We can't read minds. We don't know what you guys want. So,
but in the end of the day, everybody have a good night, have a good week, stay safe, have some nice drinks this weekend, and buy some Smoke Wagon.
Cheers.
Bye.